Thank y'all for that. This is one of those deals where I get it and I understand it. You know, everything that needs to be said has already been said by several of these politicians, but not everybody got to say it. So since Scott drug us all down here, he's like, you're getting your minute, you're getting your minute. So here we are. But no, thank you for being here today, and thank you for the opportunity to just share real quick what's going on here in your capital as we debate and discuss and pass policy and legislation that affects you, your businesses, your employees, and your communities. And I did enjoy y'all's the accomplishments and the things that you cite in your annual report from this past session. Those were big things, and as Trey and Josh both talked about, and by the way, they're the brains behind a lot of that stuff. The rest of us just go figure out how to get the votes to do what these ideas that they come up with, but it takes a team and it works, and I'm proud of the team that we have on both ends of the building that are kind of seeing where we need to be as a state and the places where we're lacking and how we can move forward. But as I was looking at this, and I hadn't looked at it since y'all put it out in a few weeks, but I had it here again this morning. I was looking at it, and one thing, I don't want to go through our accomplishments and what we talked about, and even what the guys have already talked about we're going to do this year. I want to put another thing out there for you to start thinking about just for this session and for future sessions, and it's this. And it's something that y'all even cite in this report about vision for economic growth. But it lands on your page the same place it lands here in the Capitol a lot of times when we're debating things and discussing policy ideas. And I learned this early on when I got in the legislature. My colleagues were ready to debate these red hot, red meat issues that we all get emails about and that get clicks on the internet and that get you on the evening news. But an issue that affects every single Mississippian and affects every one of you, your communities, and especially your employees. And it's this last word of the second paragraph in y'all's vision. And it says, other issues of concern included several things, but the last word, and healthcare. Healthcare. It's just thrown in there at the end. I know you didn't throw it in because it was an issue that your members brought up during the statewide tour that y'all had and the focus groups and the town halls and that sort of thing. But I want us to start a conversation, and it's going to take people like you, business leaders that have employees that are hearing from your people and from your communities about, we've got hospitals closing. We've got hospitals on the brink of closing. And for us, and you've already heard from the speakers earlier today, we approach problems, right or wrong, from a conservative place. That's just where we come from philosophically. Not different than the way a lot of you run your businesses. So in approaching these problems this way, folks are starting to show up here at the Capitol and say, what are y'all going to do about this great issue that's on the horizon in our state regarding health care, as it deals with hospitals, as it deals with businesses, as it deals with taxpayers and your employees. And so this is what I want to say to you, the business leaders of our state. You're going to have to engage seriously on this issue as we deal with hospitals in your communities that are facing closing. We've got to decide what health care is going to look like in Mississippi, in our communities, both rural, where I'm from, and in the metro areas and urban areas as well. What does that look like? What are taxpayers going to demand? What are communities going to expect? And what do they want you as business leaders to do? And what do they want us as policymakers to do? And ultimately for us, with the checkbook here, what do they want us to spend money on? And I would submit to you, from the government side, you know, we mess a lot of things up on the government side. And y'all have an ability on your private side to move much more swiftly, quickly, and better and run your businesses. And we need your input on what this needs to look like going forward. We're getting we're hearing from providers, we're hearing from hospitals, we're hearing from Mississippians. We need the business community to weigh in on the direction we need to go. And so I don't have an answer for any of it, but I know that part of the answer is going to come from people in this room and where your priorities lie. And so that's all. I want to leave you with that. Scott, thank you for the time. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you what you do for our state. You're valuable, and we can't do what we do here without you. Thank you for being here today.